Villagers in Bolangir touching the feet of Kalikesh Narayan Singhdeo, one of the princes of the erstwhile family of Bolangir. Kalikesh, a familiar face on TV news channels, is trying hard to win Bolangir for a second consecutive term in a battle of royals in one of the poorest regions of Odisha. His competitor is his sister-in-law, Sangeeta Singhdeo, for whom there is little love lost. Sangeeta says the media focuses only on royalty, not on key issues here.
हम लोग का एक ही मुद्दा है और वो है बलांगीर निर्वाचन मंडली का विकास, जो बलांगीर जिला और सोनपुर जिला दोनों को मिला के है, तो दोनों जिलों का विकास हमारा मुद्दा है.
Behind me, the Shailashri Palace in Bolangir. And let me give you an example of how divided the royal family over here is. On my left is where the family of KV Singhdeo, the BJP president in Odisha, resides. His wife, Sangeeta Singhdeo, is competing against Kalikesh Narayan Singhdeo, who lives over here on this right-hand side of this particular palace. Kalikesh's father, MP Singhdeo, is contesting in these assembly elections. The families aren't really talking to each other. They've had lots of disputes over the years, but they insist that at this stage, equations between them are civil. Though it needs to be said, there is a partition on most floors of the buildings. They don't travel from one side of the palace to the other. Kalikesh says people in Bolangir have become accustomed to the great royal divide. Being a royal and a politician, he says, is a mixed bag.
A bit of both. It's an advantage because my family has been in politics for a long time and has a history of serving people. Therefore, a lot of goodwill has been generated. It's a disadvantage because the expectations are very high and one needs to work really hard to fulfill them.
Kalikesh's family in one of the staterooms of the Bolangir Palace getting set for the last couple of days on the election trail. Everyone here is involved, including Meghna Rana, a member of the Nepalese royal family and now Kalikesh's wife.
Well, you know, we go to lots of villages. We go to about 15-20 villages in a day. And there was this one village I went to where there was this really old lady who came up to me and she held my hand. And she blessed me, and the reason she said was that I had to walk for 2 kilometers in order to get water, and I'm very old and it used to be very difficult for me. And your husband has got us water supply, and I no longer need to take that 2-kilometer trek, and she just blessed me, and that time I felt really happy and proud of my husband.
Meghna's mother-in-law, who has seen her husband MP Singhdeo through several assembly elections, has been campaigning with her.
She is taking to it like a fish to water. Yes, she is. Surprisingly. She is. Yes. No, she gives little speeches, tiny ones, but she does.
How involved have you been in that transformation of Meghna into a political creature, as it were?
Well, I'm there. I'm there with her. That's support for her, and she's keen. She's very interested to be a support to her husband, and to the family. So it's both ways, really.
11 candidates of the Biju Janata Dal are contesting in either the Assembly or Lok Sabha elections, which are being held simultaneously in 2 phases. 3 candidates of the BJP are also royals. Members of erstwhile royal families are contesting from the Bolangir, Kalahandi and Kandhamal Lok Sabha seats. The stakes for all members of erstwhile royal families are huge. They may have an emotional and historic connect with voters in their constituency, but the bottom line to their success as politicians will lie in what they deliver on the ground. Bijli, Sadak, Pani, and in these parts, employment for the thousands who migrate to other states in search of jobs. With camera person Shobhashachi Panigrahi, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.